What is up, everyone? Welcome to the fifth event that I've done this week, I think, of E3 2017 previews. I'm your host, Brad, joined by Carrie.
Hey.
And Carrie's, of course, here because we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Spotlight that happened earlier today at noontime. Nintendo was in an interesting position, I thought, this E3, because they just had to make sure that people were assuaded that their decision to buy a Switch was worthwhile.
They were coming in very much a blank slate simply because of the fact that they very much, they debuted the Switch. They had their thing back in January, I guess it was, where they talked about, here's the stuff coming out, basically during the release window, and then a little bit into the summer, and then they talked very briefly about Mario Odyssey, and that was kind of it. And then all the stuff they talked about at last year's E3 has come out. So the only thing that we really knew about coming into this year's presentation was Mario Odyssey. And everything else was kind of like fun and new. And it was all Switch stuff. There wasn't anything there that was for the 3DS.
It's funny because typically at E3, I want to see mostly stuff that's coming out this year. But Nintendo's, I not only wanted to see stuff that's coming out this year, I wanted to see a little bit of the roadmap for 2018.
Right.
That was important to me as well.
Right.
And
we got that.
Yeah, we did definitely get that for sure. So let's talk about it a little bit. What do you want to start with? Because you're definitely the one that's
I feel like we
vote.
have to start with the big one, which was the announcement that Metroid Prime 4 is in development,
Is that the big one from this?
Yeah, obviously. As far as announcements, it's nice to get, a full gameplay trailer of Mario Odyssey, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I feel like the big one, particularly because it's been 5 years since we last had a new Metroid game.
I'm not even going to count.
I'm not talking Federation.
No, I'm not counting Federation either. I'm not even going to count Other M. It's been 10 years since we've had a new Metroid game. So.
Yeah, so, it's been a decade since Metroid Prime 3 came out. So the announcement that a new one is in development, I think it goes a long way. I think it goes a long way to sort of soothe the Metroid fandom a little bit, which has gotten increasingly angry over the last couple of years where there hasn't really been any new Metroid content. And of course, we didn't see anything. It was just, here's
a logo.
Now in development. But, the thing is, that's for Metroid.
That's
I feel
enough.
like that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. Now, hopefully it doesn't take 3 years to come out. But
the thing is, I feel like they wouldn't have bothered announcing it if they didn't think they could get it done by the end of 2018 or early 2019. Now, of course, the other thing for Metroid fans is, hey, 2D Metroid on the way as well.
Let me tell you something. This is probably the first moment in my life that I'm upset that I don't own a 3DS.
Wow,
because this game is...
It looks really good.
I like me some Metroid, boy. I'm telling you.
I've never been a huge fan of 2D Metroid games because I'm not very good at them. I like the lore of Metroid.
You never really played the... Well, I know that you were always behind console-wise, but you never really played Super Metroid or the original or anything like that? Really?
Not through. I've played bits and pieces of them, but that's just not a gameplay style I've ever been.
Zero Mission's probably my favorite Metroid game of all of them.
I've heard that a lot.
It's really good.
Now, keeping in mind that this 3DS Metroid game, Metroid Samus Returns, is a enhanced remake of Metroid 2.
It's okay. Metroid 2 is a game that doesn't get enough due, I don't think. So.
Because it was on the Game Boy.
Right.
So this is really cool. And this, of course, also, a lot of people were saying, oh, this is why Nintendo DCMA'd the shit out of the people that were doing the fan game. Because they were working on their own. And this one comes out this year on the 3DS.
Yes.
This comes out
correct.
in October, something like that.
Something like that. It looked pretty
done.
Ready to go. Yeah, by the time they showed off, during the Treehouse presentation, they showed off 3 different areas of the game, 3 distinctly different areas of the game, and it looked pretty solid and not much going on there. It looks cool. It's not enough to make me go out and run out and buy a 3DS or a 2DS XL just to play it, but it looks really good.
I feel like the Metroid stuff showed fans, like, Nintendo is listening. Like, they know what their fans want, and they are doing what they can to give the fans what they want. But to get back to the actual showcase presentation, let's talk about Mario Odyssey, because that was, I think, the other big thing today.
It's exactly what I want that game to be, honestly. And I'm not even just talking about, like, the gameplay trailer they showed during the actual spotlight itself was whatever, and I thought I was disappointed to find out they wouldn't show more. But then immediately afterward, they showed a extended demo for like 20 minutes probably.
Yeah.
During the Treehouse presentation. That's what I want this to be.
Yeah.
Like, I liked Mario Galaxy. Don't get me wrong. Like, I played through the first one, beat it. I played through some of the second one. Didn't really get into it that much. But I love Mario 64.
Yes.
And to me, this looks like Mario 64 in terms of how it plays. Turns out the city ended up not being that weird, actually.
Yeah, New Donk City. The thing that I love that they revealed at the Treehouse presentation is a deep cut character, Pauline, is the mayor of New Donk City.
I saw that, and I knew that you would be particularly excited.
Like,
so.
There were a lot of sort of deep cut references to older Mario stuff. One of the outfits that Mario can wear is that pinstriped red and white outfit. That's his outfit from the very first Mario Golf game.
Yes, it is.
A few other sort of like deep cut stuff from like old artwork has been brought into this game, which I really like. I like that they're sort of doing some self-referential, random trivia sort of stuff.
Well, Johnny points out the big new feature in this one, of course, is that Mario is apparently a necromancer who can possess objects and people around him at will. Yeah,
so the big new ability is the hat, which allows him to possess creatures and other people and T-Rexes. It was so weird to like have that big photorealistic T-Rex come stomping out, and then surprise, it's the Mario trailer.
Yeah, I didn't know what when they first showed that, I didn't know what the hell they were showing off, and that turned out to be a thing. But yeah, the levels look very cool, and I like the fact that moons are the things that you're collecting in this game instead of stars. But I like the fact that you don't get bounced out of a world. Yeah. Once you collect them, you can kind of go on the fly,
keep exploring,
right? Until you beat a boss character. Basically, it looks really good. Like I said, this is the Mario game that I've been wondering if they were ever going to put out. Mario Sunshine, I hated.
Really,
I didn't care for Mario Sunshine at all, and Mario Galaxy was its own beast.
Yeah.
So I'm looking very forward to Super Mario Odyssey. It's coming out October 27th.
Which is a little earlier than I think I was expecting. I was expecting this to be a late November, early December.
Nintendo usually likes to capitalize on that Black Friday.
Not that this somehow isn't capitalizing on Black Friday.
Right, but they usually like to either put it out right before or actually sometimes they like to avoid the Black Friday crowd and come out like the week later. I think Mario Maker, I remember, came out like the week after Black Friday a couple of years back. So Mario Odyssey looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm super excited. Like, I just like it. I was so just delighted just watching it. It just like it. The music was really good. I like the sort of plot line that they're going, which is like kind of wacky, but still very quintessentially Mario.
Bowser trying to marry Princess Peach, and you have to fight his wedding planners. Apparently, it's very
Mario,
what I would expect, right? Let's talk about other stuff that's coming out this year, and then we can wait into 2018. A little bit more. We can talk about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Sure, because they did show that off a little bit. Right. Even though it got the big spotlight at the Ubisoft press conference, where they brought Miyamoto out on stage to wave some props around.
To have his arm, his Mega Buster, him and Yukimo on stage doing that stuff.
Big moment on stage. When the art for this first leaked, I was like, because I don't really like the Rabbids that much. They're like budget minions. Like,
to be fair, they predated Minions.
I know.
So that's
I know, but still. But that being said, the fact that this is like a tactics game immediately has me interested, because I really like tactics games. And having now watched some of the gameplay, I can sort of like put my ambivalence towards the Rabbids.
It's funny though, because to me, like, I look at this game and it's weird. Like, it's a game to me that doesn't have an audience almost, because to me it would seem like if you like that hardcore, and I don't know how hardcore the gameplay is honestly, but if you like that tactic style battle system on a Nintendo console, then you would deviate probably more towards Fire Emblem.
Oh, absolutely.
One would think. And if you want something that has like this whimsy game that has like Mario and the Rabbids in it, I would think that the tactics gameplay might actually
turn you off
or be a barrier of entry.
It's
for
interesting.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I feel like, having watched the gameplay, it's very straightforward as far as how it actually works. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's going to serve as like a really good sort of entry-level tactics game. And the thing is, there isn't really like an entry-level tactics game out there. You either get your feet held to the fire in a game like Fire Emblem or Advance Wars, or you don't play tactics. So I feel like the fact that this is branded with both Mario and Rabbids will help sort of go a long way to get more people and maybe a younger crowd interested in the strategy genre. I'm at least interested, because there wasn't anything in the gameplay where I was like, that looks stupid. It looks fun.
Right. The game achieves what it's setting out to do. I just don't know. Like I said, to me, it seems like they're going to struggle to find an audience for it. We'll see. I could be completely wrong. It also might be the beneficiary. Like this is a good game to release early in the Switch's life cycle, because there's not a lot out there that's competing for its dollars, basically.
This is also true.
So a lot of people that are just starved for, all right, I played Zelda, I played Mario Kart, I played ARMS, I played Splatoon, I need another Switch game. It's falling right in the period.
September?
August, actually. August
right.
29th, I think, is the date that they set for it. So it might be successful just because of that. But we will see.
Yeah.
We will see. I'm surprised that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is actually coming out this holiday as well.
For now. Because they didn't, let's be real, let's be real here. They didn't actually give us a set date.
That's true. They just said holiday 2017.
They just said holiday, which could easily get pushed back to early 2018. So to wait and see on that. But for the time being, it is coming out this year.
The holiday we meant was New Year's Eve.
Yeah. So it's coming out in the middle of January.
I have to tell you, and again, I didn't play the first Xenoblade Chronicles, obviously. It looks...
It sure looks like a JRPG.
It does. Like, it looks very generic. It doesn't really, at least from my perspective as a non-Nintendo fan, doesn't really do anything to say, oh, I must play this. Like, It doesn't have the characters didn't really seem that strong, and like I said, it seemed very generic to me.
I thought the first Xenoblade was kind of generic. That said, I thought it was still really good, despite the fact that I found it a little generic. I also never finished it.
But see, like I'm much more excited, for example, that like Undertale is coming to PS4, which is a game that I didn't get a chance to play. That seems much more. Sure,
but that's that's a $5 game on Steam. Like, correct,
yeah, it's not a direct comparison,
but no, I found it interesting that Xenoblade managed to be the only major JRPG that got really any time at E3 this year. Because none of the other companies showed anything off.
Au contraire. Did you not see the fishing VR minigame for Final Fantasy 15?
Get that dirty bullshit out
my face. To the extreme!
The most metal fishing trailer ever, honestly. But no, it's interesting. And it is, of course, the first big JRPG on the system. Because... Zelda isn't really an RPG. It's an action-adventure game.
No, it's not an RPG.
So that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. For me, that's probably not a day one purchase. But if the reviews come out and it gets reviewed on the same level that the previous two Xenoblade games got reviewed at, then I'll probably end up buying it because I thought it looks good. But I'm also sort of, aligned with JRPGs in general.
Okay.
It's a genre I really enjoy. So
Rocket League also coming to Switch. That's something that just makes sense to do.
Yeah.
They are enabling cross-play across,
which is super cool.
Yeah, across every platform except for PS4, because apparently Sony won't give the
whatever.
It's the same reason that Minecraft is doing the same thing as well. So
this is actually super cool. My husband plays a lot of Rocket League on PC, so I'm actually excited that I will be able to play with him via my Switch.
Okay. That part is very cool. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
The only other thing they announced that was coming out this year is the Zelda DLC, which they detailed the first pack.
Sure, yeah, they went into a lot of detail in the first pack as far as, sort of the challenges and sort of like a boss rush almost, it looked like, and then the hero's path and new armor and new weapons and this, that, and the other. The Tingle outfit made me laugh a lot.
I know, I saw that too, and I figured that everybody would have something to say about that for sure.
It's really funny. But yeah,
I'm much, like the first pack seems very cookie cutter, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I actually kind of like the path feature on the map, and that could be used in interesting ways. I think the second one, which they teased, which has something to do with the 4 different champions.
That's the story DLC.
Right, so that seems a lot more interesting than the first one that they showed off. But that's coming a little bit later on. The first one, I think, comes out June 30th.
Yeah, so that's a couple weeks from now, and then it's holiday season for the second story pack.
So that was it for 2017 as far as...
Not true.
Oh, what else did they...
Fire Emblem Warriors.
Oh, that's coming out... I thought that was a 2018 game.
No,
okay.
that's this fall.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a Dynasty Warriors guy, so I'm not gonna...
I really enjoyed Hyrule Warriors, and I really like Fire Emblem, except for the most... Well... Echoes is technically the most recent game. I really didn't like Fates. And Fates seems to have a massive presence in Fire Emblem Warriors. So we'll see. I understand because Awakening and Fates have really reinvigorated the Fire Emblem franchise in a lot of ways. But I was a little disappointed to see that the characters that you're going to be able to play as are like basically a bunch of people from Fates and Awakening and then Marth. And that's basically it. I was a little, they did a ton of DLC for Hyrule Warriors, so it wouldn't surprise me if they added more characters to this as well. But I'm still just like you have 30 fucking years of Fire Emblem history to pick from, and this is what you're going with?
I would think with a game like this, too, that you could just do a huge mashup and just put whatever characters you want in the game. It's not beholden to canon, obviously.
Yeah, so. There's so many other characters that are really popular with the fans as far as, Roy and Hector and Lynn and Ephraim and Ike that could have been put into this game. And nope, they're going with basically the most recent shit and Marth.
Till you have to pay for it later on, possibly.
Yep.
We'll see. So 2017. So before we get into 2018, how do you feel about 2017 the rest of the way for Switch?
Very comfortable because we've got ARMS at the end of the week,
right?
Which I'm
Splatoon next
getting.
month as well.
Splatoon next month, Fire Emblem, Rocket League, because Rocket League is supposed to come out this holiday season. They didn't give a specific date. Mario, obviously. It's spread out enough. Like, we're basically getting something almost every 6 weeks through the end of the year. Yeah,
that's about right. And for me personally, the only one of those games that I plan on buying is Mario, and that's all I need. Like, that's all I need. Like, that's fine.
The only other thing that was touched on for 2017 was Pokken Tournament DX, which I know you're not going to buy, but the other thing that because they brought out Ishihara, or they did a quick segment where Ishihara was like, we talked about last week, Pokken Tournament, new characters, this, and then he was like, by the way...
Well, and now we can get into 2018.
Yeah. Well, this probably won't even be 2018.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
I think it will 100%.
Because I think it's going to take them longer to develop a Pokemon engine for the Switch. And then build a game on it.
I'm predicting October 2018.
I'm predicting early 2019. But yeah, Ishihara was like, we're working on a core Pokemon game for the Switch, which I feel like they had to have recorded like yesterday just to be like, can you tell these children on social media to shut up? Because when they announced Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon last week for the 3DS, people were like, well, I don't understand why it's on 3DS.
You know what, honestly, no, but honestly, if I were Nintendo, I would have held that announcement until after until after E3 and then done that direct next week, because if you set the expectation first,
would have saved it for like a Treehouse announcement.
No, but I'm saying like if you first set the expectation that hey, you're not getting Switch Pokemon this year,
right,
and then you announce
that's true
the
sort
Ultra ones, then you would have not gotten the reaction that you got, I think.
But this helped to reassure people like, hey, you're gonna get this one last core Pokemon game on the 3DS. And then you're going to get one on the Switch.
Right. At this point, like the Doom counter has started on the 3DS. I feel like with that announcement, it's gonna slowly.
Like you're gonna get like this year, you're going to get the last round of like big Nintendo hits for the 3DS. You're gonna get new Pokemon,
that Metroid game,
and you're going to get the other thing that they talked about today was the remake of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which we can talk about real quick now, I guess. That is coming out this year. It's the remake of the Game Boy Advance game from
which I didn't
14 years ago?
Which I played 2 hours of, I think, and then stopped. So.
I mean, it's good. It was the first game in the Mario Luigi series. It's nice to sort of bring it forward into a new audience because you have a ton of kids who are 10, 11 years old who weren't on the planet yet when that game came out, which hurts my soul to say out loud.
So the thing that I was upset about, so there is a new Yoshi title coming out next year.
Yep.
Give me a proper sequel to Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. That's all I'm asking for. Yoshi's Woolly World, not that game. The Yoshi's Island game from fucking Nintendo 64, not that game. I want an actual sequel.
Or the Yoshi's Island on 3DS.
Yes, that too.
Yeah,
also not that game. I want an actual sequel to Super Mario World 2. Nintendo, if you do it, I will buy it. I promise. I will get my friends to buy it. Yoshi's Island is the second greatest platforming game of all time. I'll fight you if you disagree. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Number one is Donkey Kong Country 2. Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi, dude. I fucking hate it so much.
2D platformer.
That being said, like, I fucking hate Yoshi so fucking much. I hate him and his stupid green face and his stupid little shell. I can't stand Yoshi. I need him to get thrown in the dumpster where he belongs with the rest of his island people. That being said, this trailer was super fucking cute.
I hope you never get Golden Sun 4. Never. I hope it never happens.
Well,
you hurt me.
Fortunately for you, it didn't happen today. But yeah, the cardboard aesthetic. I like all these crafty little aesthetics. I think it looks cute.
I don't want cute. I want brutally difficult 2D platforming with shitting of eggs and throwing of eggs and dogs to jump on and red coins and flowers and shit like that.
Yeah, okay.
And crying, screaming, crying babies and
God, I hate
whatnot.
My experience. It's probably just Baby Mario's fault that I hate Yoshi so fucking much. I hate
that game is phenomenal.
God,
Gaston says your hate of Yoshi is irrational. You are right, Gaston. You are correct.
I hate.
You are correct. So,
but hey, new Yoshi 2018. I like that cardboard. It's really cute, and the dragon. I liked it.
No,
I'm probably not going to play it.
You know it is probably
because I fucking hate Yoshi.
Another proper Kirby sequel as well coming to the Switch. That looked like a regular Kirby game, and it's been a while. I feel like since we've had that, or a new one at least,
without like a silly gimmick on it.
Yes,
because the closest that we got recently was Planet Robobot, which I enjoyed. It was a good game. Still had a silly gimmick,
right?
And then there was like Canvas Curse and Rainbow Curse and whatnot, which are games that would work extremely well on the Switch in handheld mode via the touchscreen.
Kirby turned into a curling stone in this.
I loved that.
In this presentation.
My God, he turned into the curling stone, and my heart was so full. I really like curling, but I like that. It's a twist on his rock ability, where now he can slide while he's the curling stone. Multiplayer was highlighted in this. What appeared to be some degree of co-op.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to just have people jump in.
Oh, yeah.
And do that. So, yes, that looks pretty good. I was never the biggest Kirby fan, but I'd certainly be open to trying a very good Kirby game if one were to come out, for sure.
Yeah. Kirby, like, mainline Kirby games have always just been consistently really good. So, yay, Kirby Switch. So they're missing his 25th anniversary a little bit.
They are just a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was what they showed during their event. It seems like they're going to do a couple of Treehouse events during the week, and I'm sure you'll get a lot more detail for that.
Tomorrow and then Thursday, we're getting stuff. So I would anticipate more minor announcements for them to show off, though I wouldn't consider Metroid Samus Returns minor.
No, it's definitely a huge deal. I mean, it's been a long time since we've gotten a real 2D Metroid game. I'm not counting Metroid Other M, because why would you?
Yeah.
So we'll see. So we're going to give our final thoughts, then we will go to you guys in the chat and see what you guys have to say. Like I said, I think Nintendo did very well with this. Obviously not, I mean, it was over in a flash. I feel like it only lasted...
It was 25 minutes.
Right, it was less than a half an hour. But they did what they had to do. Like I said, they showed a couple games that were coming out later this year. They showed you what was going to be down the road in 2018. They finally delivered not only one new Metroid game, but two new Metroid games, which people have been clamoring for forever. The only thing I think that they missed was I would have expected to see some kind of, whether it was a teaser or an announcement of Smash Brothers DX, but something to do with Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But Johnny has an interesting theory as to that. He said, "Are you surprised that we didn't see it, or was that intentional to focus on an Arms and Pokken tournament?" That's a good point. I mean, you can't have too many.
That's what they want to be their multiplayer focus for the summer. You know, they specifically highlighted a bunch of multiplayer games at the start of this. Those being Arms, Splatoon, Rocket League, and then a quick little peek at FIFA. But you know, they want that to be sort of like their summer multiplayer focus, and they want people who want the multiplayer experience to be driven towards those games rather than be like, "Oh, Smash is coming." I can talk on FIFA real quick too, because they have announced some details about that. So apparently, FIFA for the Switch, it seems to not just be a complete throwaway. They actually it's, as far as feature set goes, it seems like it's almost to what the console, I'd say console, you know what I mean, PS4, Xbox One versions are, because it has Ultimate Team. Okay.
It's going to have the different career modes in it. It does not have the journey, though. It's not going to have the single player, the campaign story. Does anyone really care that much? No. I mean, again, if you care that much, you're probably going to get FIFA on the other console anyway. It's cool to see it's on a throwaway mode. Now, obviously, you know, it's not using the Frostbite engine, so it's not going to look and feel nearly as good as the console version. It's still not something that I would get on the Switch ever, but it at least looks like something that if you want to have a portable... If I want to have it on the go, it looks like at least a decent version. That they put some degree of effort into it. Yes, this was not like hey, we're just taking the FIFA 16 PS3 engine and copy porting it and doing what I would have expected them to do. That's actually really good to hear, because, you know, my concern obviously with EA developing sports titles for the Switch would be that we would get sort of shitty throwaway, you know, watered down bullshit. But if they're doing, you know, as close to PS4 and Xbox One as they possibly can get on the Switch. I was shocked that Ultimate Team was in it. Like, if there was one mode that I would have said there's no way in hell they would put Ultimate Team in, because who the fuck's going to play it? Right. I still don't know who the fuck's going to play Ultimate Team on the Switch, but the fact that it's there is encouraging. They'll have the icons in there like they're going to have in the big versions as well. So I mean, it's a good job by them to not just, you know, shit out a crap port on that console. Absolutely. What were your thoughts on what we saw today? I mean, I feel like they managed to pack as much into 25 minutes as Microsoft and Sony crammed into an hour and a half or more. Microsoft especially. Yeah. I mean, and not to get off on a tangent, I mean, the conferences this year were much, much different than we were accustomed to in years past. And Microsoft's was a very traditional E3 presentation. Extremely traditional. But it also looked quite dated compared to what you saw from the other companies.
Yeah.
But I don't think Microsoft did a poor job, but
they were extremely par for the course, I thought.
Yes.
No, I thought, they managed to solidify their first party lineup for the rest of the year and then tease huge things for the next year and potentially early 2019 with Metroid Prime 4, which, again, they showed a logo and people lost their fucking minds. Like, I cannot imagine what the reaction would have been had they done a live show.
Oh, it's all if they showed any kind of gameplay. Oh, you mean if they had actually recorded it with an audience?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been huge. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't
like
know
that,
if you
that I think would have been the closest to like the Twilight Princess reveal.
I'll show you when we're done, and you guys watching this can look too when we're done. The Kind of Funny video put up a minute-long clip of Tim Geddes reacting to that. It's something he's been wanting forever. It's fucking hilarious.
I feel like, that's something that so many people have wanted forever, for 10 years now. And then, even on the 2D front, on the 3DS, people have been really wanting that
I might be more excited
forever.
about that Metroid that I'll probably never play than I was about Metroid Prime 4, which I will play. So...
Yeah, and then, Kirby and Yoshi, I wouldn't consider either of them A-list Nintendo characters, but they're B-list.
I would consider them to be A-list characters for sure. They are.
I don't know that I would consider them on the level of Mario, Zelda, or Metroid.
Okay, fair. Okay, if you were grading on that curve, then yes, that would be. I don't even know if Samus would be on the A tier list in that case, honestly.
We'll see.
To be fair.
But yeah, strong first-party games into 2018. And then, the quick mention of, like, we're working on a core Pokemon for the Switch. Like, we can't talk about it, but we're working on it.
I think just the acknowledgement that it's happening is enough.
Is enough for longtime Pokemon fans who are like, okay, well, now I can be cool with these games later this year coming out on the 3DS.
Okay. Well, let's dive into the chat for a little bit. Johnny asks, where did Yoshi hurt you, Carrie? Why do you hate him?
In the Toys R Us in Owings Mills when I was, I guess I would have had to have been like 5 or 6 years old, like whenever Yoshi's Island came out. I was in the video game aisle at that Toys R Us, and they had a Yoshi's Island cartridge. And I tried playing that game, and I was very bad at it. And just like the sound of Baby Mario like screaming just like rubbed me the wrong way. And ever since, I'm just like, I fucking hate Yoshi, even though I should probably hate Baby Mario. It's all that hatred was, focused on Yoshi and Yoshi's Island specifically when I was a tiny child. So this is like 22 years ago. That's just how it's been. I've never liked Yoshi.
That's completely irrational. I don't agree with it. Johnny also says, forget Metroid Prime 4. Where is my F-Zero sequel? A fair question, Johnny.
Yeah.
I don't know why they have not seen fit to release a new F-Zero game in longer than 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that was something people were really hoping for, and a new Animal Crossing people were really hoping for. Those were, I think, the big two that the vast majority of Nintendo fans were like really, besides Metroid, which they got.
But like you and I talked about before we went on the air, like Nintendo is, because of the way they announce things now, is in the seat where if you didn't see something that you were expecting to see here at E3, you might see it.
Yeah, give it 2 months.
2 weeks later, if they just want to wait till the dust clears a little bit so that announcement can have its own space, basically. So hey. Yeah, you never know what we'll see. I don't think we're getting an F-Zero sequel.
No.
Gaston says, not that anyone cares, but do you think that Monster Hunter World being for every system but the Switch will lure people away? Is it for Xbox One?
It is. Yeah, it will be on Xbox One and I think PC. Now the thing is, I believe that the Switch is getting an exclusive Monster Hunter anyway.
That's not Monster Hunter World?
No, it's not Monster Hunter World, but it is Monster Hunter.
Okay.
Because they did some sort of special edition Switch in Japan, I think. So yeah, I think it's getting a Monster Hunter. It's just not Monster Hunter World. And Monster Hunter fans will play a Monster Hunter regardless of what fucking system it's on.
Okay.
So
I think that'll be a bigger deal in Japan, where people who didn't like. I'm sure there are a lot of gamers in Japan who only own like a 3DS because of Monster Hunter, and the fact that a new Monster Hunter game will be on PS4 might spur a lot of those folks to get on PS4 in Japan. So I think there you'll see a bigger impact. I think over here in the US it's not going to be
it's like
a big deal.
I have friends who are huge Monster Hunter fans, but ultimately Monster Hunter is still very much like a niche thing here.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to make much of a difference.
Jack says hi, Carrie.
Hi, Jack.
Cool. And yeah, Gaston also says Monster Hunter XS is coming out for 3DS and Switch.
Yeah.
So there you go. So not losing it completely, I guess.
No.
Cool. Well, yeah, like I said, overall I think Nintendo did a pretty good job. So I gave we'll let her grade it because why the fuck not? I gave Sony a B+. I gave Microsoft a B-. I'll also give Nintendo a B+. I think that this was overly short and very much game after game after game. I was happy they didn't do any stupid Nintendo skits that they are often accustomed to doing. Totally fine with that. But yes, it was good. And then, like I said, the game, the unexpected stuff that they showed. So, both Metroid games.
Yeah.
I was actually even somewhat excited about the new Kirby game, and then Mario Odyssey just cemented my desire to get that game. So very cool.
I mean, I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna give them an A because I feel like they did exactly what they needed to do.
You're such an apologist.
I know. But no, like in reality, they really did. They did exactly what they needed to do, which was solidify the lineup through the end of this year, and then start introducing stuff for early next year.
And again, this was all about the Switch, and
I feel like
and they just kind of need to show people the roadmap. I think for the console,
and they did that
to assure them that yes, your investment was a good one,
right?
And I do think it is already off to a world's better start than the Wii U was, at this point in the game for that console for sure.
Yeah.
So that's it. Well, thank you guys very much for tuning in, and for all the tuning in that you guys have done over our E3 stuff. We really appreciate it. And for those of you that don't know what we do, primarily Dense Pixels is a podcast that we do every single week, so make sure you check that out. And while you are here on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button down below as well.
So you'll smash that like button.
Yes. But that way you get all of our video reviews and stuff that we have planned for down the road as well.
Yeah.
Carrie, thank you for coming over.
Absolutely.
Talking about this tonight. Thank you guys very much for watching. We will see you later.